Hey everyone, welcome to Caroline Uncluttered. I'm Caroline. Today we are going to go through our January 2023 declutter pile, which you can see here behind me. I want to go through each item that we're decluttering, talk a little bit about why we're getting rid of it. It's going to be a really quick and simple video, so let's just get into it. The first two things we have are two external chargers for your cell phone. These use USB. The funny thing is I've always kept these around through every single declutter because they seem so useful, but the truth is that I never use them. These are probably like 10 years old at this point, and one of them has a bunch of dings in it. I feel like I don't really need to keep these anymore. I always justify it to myself by saying, oh, when I go to a music festival or when I travel. But for every music festival I've ever been to, which is not that often, and every time that I travel, I never carry these with me. So I think it's time to say goodbye to these and stop lugging them around from declutter to declutter. Next we have a little oil diffuser bottle that I bought from Amazon. This is so dumb. It's maybe like $10 or $12. The funny thing about this is that when I saw it on Amazon, I had to have it, and I put it in my cart for like weeks and was like just dying over it, and then realized that once I got it, it didn't really do anything to make my bathroom smell better. I put the oil in there, I put the reed diffusers, and it just didn't really do anything. And honestly, it just gets oily at the top and then collects dust. And I just really think it's time to say goodbye to this. Next up, we have an old lighter. This thing is in pretty poor condition. It's seen better days. I cannot clean any of this stuff off of it for some reason. The thing about this is that we are trying to move a little bit away from using candles with the synthetic fragrances. So we have like 6 lighters. We don't need 6 lighters. I'm gonna say goodbye to this one. Next up, we have a handful of rings. These are really poor quality rings. I purchased them at random shops and things like that throughout the years, and last time I put them on, not only did I realize how tarnished they were and just how poor quality they are because they were pretty cheap, but also I just realized that I don't really like wearing rings on my finger. They make me feel bulky. I'm always playing with them. I get really fidgety and I don't want to appear that way, so I'm just gonna say goodbye to these. Going along with the rings is the little ring holder, because those were all my rings. Actually, it turns out I don't have any nice rings. They're all just kind of old, cheap rings, and they were sitting on this ring holder, and now there's really no need for them anymore, so this can go. Next, we have 2 plant pots. This was actually an old candle that I turned into a planter, and then this is a planter that probably came from Trader Joe's or something like that. Now, the reason I want to talk about these 2 plant pots is because they match my color scheme and my aesthetic pretty well. I just don't quite love them. I have tons of other planters. In fact, in this cabinet here is like 6 planters that I'm currently not using. These were my least favorite of all of them, and I wanted to talk about this because sometimes there are things that you think you can't get rid of because it matches your theme or it matches your aesthetic of your home or your color palette, which these do match my color palette. But the thing is, you don't have to keep them just because they match. If you don't really like them and you're not using them, it's okay to say goodbye to things like this, even if it might seem like, oh, I have to keep it. Are you guys interested in another video where I talk about permission giving for decluttering, permission giving to get rid of the things that you feel obligated to keep, even by some self-imposed rule? Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see a video about that. Kind of in that same category are these 2 lumbar pillows. Now, these do match my home vibe and aesthetic perfectly, but this one is really scratchy and I can't take the cover off of it. And so I can't wash it when it gets dog hair on it, and it is really I kind of like to put it in the crook of my neck here, and it just itches on my skin. So even though I love the way this looks, it's not a functional pillow, which is supposed to be not a decorative pillow, but a functional one. So this can go as well. And then this one is kind of the same thing. It's just got this weave texture, so it's not very soft. It's a little small, and I was holding on to this because I thought one day we might have a guest bedroom and this pillow could go on the guest bedroom bed. But that's kind of wishful thinking. I don't know when we might have a place with the guest bedroom, and even if we do, they might just throw it on the ground and not really use it. So I think this is not really something worth holding on to. Next, we've got two items that are a little gross, but these are some jars. So a couple years ago, I had this great idea to decant all of my oils into these jars from IKEA. This one was vegetable oil. It's really, really gross. I'm gonna try and recycle this, but I need to wash it first. It's disgusting inside. The thing about this though is that I actually hate having to unclasp this thing to pour my oil out. And the oil gets stuck in the lid, the bottle gets all dusty, and then when now I have oil on my fingers, and when I want to get more vegetable oil, I have to decant it in here. It makes a big mess, and I'm not really a fan. If this method works for you, then keep doing it. There's other things that I decant. I think the oils I'm just not going to be doing that with anymore. I only have a couple of these bottles, so once I use up the contents, these bottles are gonna go. This one will be the first. And we're also trying to use less vegetable oil in the first place because I have heard that it's not that great for you, so no need to keep this around. And then the second container is this jar, which is also pretty nasty right now, but this is from the dollar spot at Target, and this is a great example of one of those things that you think is gonna be the perfect solution and solve all your problems, and then you get it and you use it and you're excited about it and it just doesn't work out. So this is a jar that I used to store some dog food toppers. I thought it was perfect. It came with this little serving spoon. Now the thing with the serving spoon is that it's unfinished wood, so I would actually need to go through and seal this, which is another step that I don't want to take. But the main problem with this is that you have to get the lid on exactly right with the spoon so that it sits in there perfectly. Just any little way and it's not gonna fit on right. So I got really frustrated when I was trying to use this to scoop toppers onto my dog food, and I think that this is just not the solution for me, so this can go as well. And then the last few things that you see behind me here are kind of unfortunate. I'm not decluttering these because I want to, but actually because I kind of have to. This is the Laundress products. You guys might be familiar. This is kind of like a luxury laundry detergent brand. They're really good for hand washing wools, cashmere, delicate silks, things like that. They have these sprays. The problem is I recently got a recall in my email that these products are thought to be linked to a new bacteria or causing some sort of bacteria that is making people sick and landing them in the hospital. So Amazon actually emailed me and said, please stop using these immediately. So these are not cheap. I think each bottle is maybe like 20 bucks or something like that, but I don't want that bacteria thing to happen to me, so goodbye, Laundress. Okay, that is everything we're decluttering in the month of January. What are you decluttering this month? And if you'd like to see this same type of video for next month in February, just let me know. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more daily decluttering inspiration, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.